everybody, I'm Stu Carter from Atomic.com, and today I've got the huge Star Wars Trade Federation multi-troop transport. So stand by for a Star Wars toy review. Now, if you've been a channel subscriber, you would have had an early look at this when I was in the Hasbro private showroom during the New York Toy Fair last February. And they did a nice demo on this, but now I've got one right off the shelf. We're gonna check it out for ourselves and just see just how it works. And wow, this box is huge, 2.5 feet long. Can't believe it. You know, this comes from Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, which is actually the 4th Star Wars movie they made. It's so confusing. And actually, Episode 1 was not my favorite movie because of all the talking and the politics and stuff. But then when they get to the Battle of Naboo and they start doing this, that was the cool part for me. And that was in 1999, that movie. Wow. Okay, here's a good look at the box. It says it includes 20 battle droids, including 4 fully posable pilot droids, and then 16 are in a fixed battle pose. Also has an Obi-Wan Kenobi figure in there. And I guess it has a motorized troop deployment rack. That's the big feature on it. Ages 4 and up. 3 batteries required, not included. Wow, you gotta pay like big bucks for this and they can't throw in the batteries for you. Wow. All right, and it's got some nice graphics on the side. I'll include some still photos of these that you can see at the end of the video, also on one of our fan sites. And here's the back. And yeah, it's showing you the features. They got some opening cockpits and stuff. We're gonna check all that out. Electronic battle and droid sounds. Wow. There's a lot of play value in this. I can't wait to get it open. Well, you ready to go? All right, let's get this thing open. Well, here it is right out of the box. It looks like I'm gonna have to put some parts together. What I want to show you, what I like about Hasbro, they don't use wire, they use strings. And they're just kind of flipped around like they're easy to take apart. You don't have to be cutting wires and pulling things so hard. I like that about how Hasbro packages stuff. All right, well, I'll get this packaging off here and we'll look at it better. Yeah, so here's the parts of the ship. I've got the main hull here, and I've got some cowlings to put on, and some other parts of the turret. And then here's my Obi-Wan figure. And look at this, I've got my droids, like they come frozen in carbonite, you know, and they're cool. And they even send me like a little arsenal. Each one's got their own gun, you know, to carry. So all I gotta do is like unfreeze them, and then, you know, they're ready to go to war. That's pretty cool. That's great. Comes with some directions. I guess I'll keep these and make sure I do it right. And then there's a little sheet of stickers to help give it some authenticity in the cockpits. And I'll put those on too. It's definitely helpful to have some tweezers to help put these stickers on. Boy, I wish I had small hands, but I don't. Yeah. Right, so here it is out of the box. I know you're dying to see it deploy the droid forces, aren't you? All right, I won't keep you in suspense. We're gonna deploy the droids. There's a button to activate it right on the top. Here we go. Oh yeah.
Surrender, Jedi.
Oh yeah. Enemy forces will pee their pants when you deploy your droids from the multi-troop transport. Okay, so the droids deploy automatically. To get them to redeploy and recover them into the MTT, you've got to do a couple manual operations. First, you raise up the platforms and make sure the arms snap into the receiver here. Good. And then push down the shields. You'll get some sound effects. And then you press the button on the top to recover all the droids. And you can actually raise the front blast door and look inside there and see them in there in those racks. Make sure they're all nice and snug. On the forward edge of the MTT, there's 2 pairs of automatic cannons at ground level, and they will elevate up and down. They don't actually shoot. And when you raise the hatch cover on the pilot house, there's a gun position here, like a turret. It stands up pretty tall, and 2 missile launchers that swing out. And they do fire a couple missiles. They do a pretty good job. See, bing, right? And there's a place for one of your droids to stand up here and direct the launcher. And he's even got a porthole so he can look out and scan for targets manually. And in the gun turret, there's machinery details molded into the plastic, just as in the other parts of the MTT. I like that. So your battle droids are arrayed on the racks that deploy from the MTT. See these bases that they have, they've got holes in the bottom that engage with little pegs on the rack. So they'll pretty much stay in place as you move them in and out. And of course, you can also take them out and you can deploy them subject to the limitations of their articulation. But yeah, you can take them all out of the rack. There's 16 in here, and they will hold a gun. Or you can keep them on the racks all the time and ready for combat. So the MTT comes with 3 kinds of action figures. You get this young Obi-Wan Kenobi. We'll talk about him in a second. And then you get 2 kinds of droids. These are so-called battle posed, that is rather fixed in position. You get 16 of these battle posed droids to ride inside the MTT. And you get 4 of these pilot droids that are somewhat articulated. This guy doesn't stand up very well, so I've got putty on his feet. These are a little more articulated, but I'm a little disappointed still with what they can do. The battle pose droids, pretty much all you can do is you can raise your arm up. And you can see the battle droids can hold a gun after a fashion. Some of them, the arms don't stay up that well, but he can raise an arm up and he can hold his, hey, watch where you point that thing. And so he can sort of hold a gun, and his head is on a swivel too. He can articulate his head. You can even take the head off if you want. The pilot droid can hold a gun, although they really should be thinking about driving the boat. But yeah, and they are also different in that they're articulated at the hips, but only at the hips, not at the knees, which is unfortunate because I would like to try some stop motion with these guys, but it's not going to work very well without the knees. And his other arm can come up as well, so you can see him. He can climb up the side of the ship. Also, what's different is the pilot droids get these communicator packs, which I'm not sure I understand why they need that, since they're supposed to be on the ship. But they've got the communicator packs. The battle droids, see, they do not. It's interesting. And so the pilot droid can also be positioned climbing up the side of the ship to the command hatch. And just to compare them, I've got a battle droid from Star Wars Movie Hero series, which is on store shelves now. And here's a good look at him. And you can see this battle droid is very similar, it's just a little bit different in the coloration, but still, he won't articulate at the knees. He won't bend his knees. The joint's right there. Bend the knees. Well, he won't bend to the knees. And you can see his communicator pack, the one for the Movie Heroes figure, is a little bit more detailed from the pilot droid with the MTT. Here's a good look at the torsos and head. You know, a droid's a droid. Pretty similar, but a different mold, definitely, for the Movie Heroes figure. I like the detail on the blaster rifle, and you get about 20 of those. So you can have the droids inside the MTT carry their rifles. And there's also some rifle racks on the aft compartments of the ship where you can stow them. So the battle droids can hold these rifles while they're on the racks. I've been a little hesitant to keep them like that. I'm kind of afraid they might come off while they're going in and out of the MTT and perhaps jam the mechanism. But I saw in the photos that they're carrying them, so it's probably okay to try it. So there's opening compartments left and right on the aft edge of the ship where droids can ride, and there's even some gun racks where you can put the guns away and keep them safely stowed while you're moving. And the gun racks here are a nice feature. You've got a place to hold 5 on either side. That's a total of 10. I also like the details of the machinery that they molded into the plastic in these compartments. There's a lot of little details there that are nice. And on the inside cover of the hatch, there's pegs which are useful for posing your droids. And here, like in a lot of places, there's details of the machinery and such molded into the plastic. And it's on the inner hatch, so you know your droids can't really use it until the hatch is closed, but at least you're happy knowing that they've got equipment that they can use while the hatch is closed and the MTT is moving. On the upper surface of the ship, you've got these control buttons which will deploy and recover the droids, and also run some sound effects. There's a lot of sound effects with this ship. I'll show you. Left button deploys the droids, right button recovers them when they're ready, and the center button has these sound effects, a small push for some sounds and then a longer push for engine sounds. Battle sounds with a short push. And then a longer push gives you machinery noises. There's an opening hatch on the upper surface of the ship. It's a convenient place. It's got some machinery, and there's some decals to show the machinery. A handy place to stow your extra guns, or you can throw Obi-Wan in there. There, you stay there. You're a prisoner. And machinery details on the aft end of the ship, and this is also the speaker where the sound effects come out. I also like the engineering details on the port and starboard side about midships. Obviously some hydraulic components used in the deployment of the droid racks. So here's our Obi-Wan Kenobi figure. He comes with a lightsaber. Not a lot of articulation on this guy. He can move his arms up and down and at the elbows, and you can kind of, move it at the hips a little bit. But I mean, I don't know. You see, here's a Leia figure from the movie Heroes, and so you can bend her knees and stuff. Look at that, nice articulation there. But not Obi-Wan. You're going to be, so he can't sit down. So if he took over the ship, he can't sit down to pilot it. You do get some nice details on his lightsaber there. There's a little, you can see the button and some black and silver paint details on the lightsaber. And also, you see on his belt as well, he's got details of pouches and things on his belt. He probably carries some candy bars or something to help him while he's going into combat. And something else here I've got a little bit of an issue with. Now, he's got that trademark little braided hair thing, right? That's I don't know if it's real. It's not real hair. It's nylon, but see, this is plastic, but then this part was glued in to make the detail. So it's his little trademark braid, and he's got his little ponytail going on the back as well. Thing is, see, what's with these ribbons, yellow and red ribbons, in his braid there? I mean, look, if my son wants to grow his hair long, it's okay. Dad was like that too. Put it in a ponytail, okay. A braid, yeah, all right. But when he starts putting ribbons in his braid, that's when I put my foot down. No way. I just don't get this. So you guys, you're Star Wars aficionados, if you know the history of what those ribbons mean, if they mean anything, let me know in the comments. So you raise this hatch here and you access the command compartment, and there's spaces for 3 of the pilot droids to control the MTT. And so there's details on their command consoles and stickers also to show the machinery, or in some cases windows. I'm going to take a good shot of this. You guys tell me in the comments what they're looking at outside the windows here. And this guy's got a console of some kind as well. The MTT does have wheels underneath, and so you can simulate the effects of the repulsor lift technology. And if you turn over on the bottom, there's even the details that we see in the bottom that we see in the other parts of the ship as well. That you see this repulsor lifts here and here. And you got your battery compartment, going to need 3 AA batteries in here. And then you've got your ON OFF switch. Well, I've enjoyed messing around with the MTT here in the toy testing lab. I rather like the design of the piece. It's kind of low-tech. It's not all spaceshipy with antennas and wires sticking out. Reminds me of the huge German tanks built in World War I, big lumbering things, and they're all smooth like this. I haven't had much trouble with it. Just I had one problem. The only problem I had with this toy was if you don't get these platforms clicked in completely, it will jam up when it tries to go back inside. I'll show you how that happens. Watch. See, I didn't click it in. There. That's okay though. That's the only problem I had with this toy. Well, you ready to take the MTT out on a combat mission? Well, suit up and roll out. All units, advance! All units, halt! Deploy the droids!
Reinforcements have arrived. Split up by squad and spread out.
So if you enjoy my toy reviews, you might want to hit that subscribe button, and I'll have more stuff coming up all the time. Until next time, have a good day.
No one I know is out to kill me. I guess I'm doing okay. I'm lost among the millions. Just an empty head filled with the sky. I separated my life between the boring and exciting parts. And yet my life is as filled as if I